Let's bring in Democratic political strategist James Carville. You know, you're the father of "It's the Economy, Stupid," and it certainly is in this election. And there's a disconnect between Wall Street and Main Street, and the president seemed to forget that in this interview.
Well, let me join the head scratching. Okay. I don't think if people don't feel like they're in a good economy, you can't convince them. And I think there's a bunch of Ivy League economists, academic types that go in and say, sir, this is the best economy we've had since 1969. You have to go out and promote it. And that's not the world people are living in. And at some point, Chris, baseball, you got to let the ball come to you. You can't charge the ball. And I agree with the critics that this is not the proper messaging, that you should say these are things we're doing to deal with cost of living. Every first word straight out of his mouth is high cost of living. And that's why we're doing these things, to give families relief. But I agree with the critics on this one.
Grocery store and gas prices. Grocery store and gas prices. That's the manifestation of inflation. That's what I hear about all the time, James. And you know what's interesting? I hear about it from rich people. I hear not that they're suffering, but that it's a metric that they're aware of. Grocery store and gas prices.
Well, there is good news, but you have to let it seep through. And the truth of the matter is, Chris, in my view, this is an economy that's pretty good for savers. For people like myself that don't have a mortgage, that are net savers. But if you're 26 years old, you have no hope of buying a house, of educating children. You're probably living in the basement with your sister and your mother and daddy's house. And when President Biden tells how good the economy is, your reaction is, what's that guy talking about?
Right. And sounds out of it.
I think there's some truth to that. But if you hold in a 3.5% mortgage, you're golden right now. But if you're trying to borrow a mortgage at 7%, you're not very golden.
Can't buy a house. Can't buy a house. Hey, let me ask you something. Other side of the ball for a second.
Yes,
did you hear what Trump is saying about Bobby Kennedy Jr.? That he's not a real anti-vaxxer? Here's what's fascinating to me about it, James. I want your take, though. Is he's obviously worried. And he's saying if you're voting for him because you're part of the MAGA base that is an anti-vaxxer, he's not the real deal. But he doesn't say he's anti-vax. It's a very nuanced play for Trump, especially, who's usually pretty ham-fisted. He's saying that Bobby's not a real anti-vaxxer. Don't vote for him. But he doesn't say he's anti-vaccine. What do you see in that play?
Well, I think I'll give myself some credit. I've been wrong about many things in my life, but I've been pretty consistent that Bobby Kennedy is a bigger threat to Donald Trump than he is to Joe Biden. And I think that you're seeing this manifest itself, that Trump is now starting to attack Bobby Kennedy. There was this great thing, oh, my God, Kennedy's getting in the race as independent is going to really kill the Democrats. Most Democrats have no idea who the Kennedys are. I mean, it's a great family, but memories tend to be short. So I think what Trump is doing is validating my point of view that Kennedy is, in the end, going to be a bigger drag on Trump than Biden. And I think Trump instinctively recognizes this.
What do you make of Biden's two-pronged pivot on immigration and why it took him so long? He's got the executive action he's doing. Let me put up a couple of poll numbers. Control of the border. The U.S. has control over its borders. The numbers, are in the toilet, but we'll put them up for you. It's like 20% of people say it now. 34% said it last August. Does illegal immigration cause major problems? Over 2 out of 3 say yes, major problems. Is it too little, too late?
I don't think so. I think he listened to these idiot left-wingers when he got into office and got a little bit behind the 8-ball here. But there was a piece by my friend Colin Howard, the Democratic nominee for Senate, with a Republican businessman, is echoing what President Clinton said. Let these people work. All right, they're in here, they're waiting for asylum hearings, they're waiting for this. Let's put them to work. And I think Colin is exactly right. And the piece appeared in the Dallas Morning News Sunday, and President Clinton's been harping on this. We have these migrants, they're here, we're waiting to figure out what to do with them, but let's let them be employed. Let's put them to work. And, people, let me tell you, you have 3.7% unemployment, people want to come to your country. You want to solve the problem on the southern border, get 7% unemployment, and it'll dry up in an instant, I promise you.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.